Hi, everybody. This is our Beyond the Blueprint webinar, one of our lunchtime webinars at Stake. So we hope you're happy to join us, and we're very happy to have you. Today, we're going to be talking you through our fix and flip updates. We've invited some guest speakers, so we're going to take you through a new opportunity that we've listed. We're very excited about it, and we are very excited to have you. We'll have a Q&A section at the end, so feel free to type in your questions into the chat box. And just a disclaimer from my side, please be a bit patient with us as we're trialing a new webinar tool. So hopefully it ends up being as cool and as exciting as the previous webinars. Myself, Jad Nachabe, I'm the head of real estate at Stake. I'm your host today, and we've got Nahil, who's our asset manager at Stake. He'll be on board to help us answer some questions and really share some insights on our flip opportunities. We've also got a few guest speakers that we've invited. We've got a full panel today. Fahad, our senior product manager at Stake, is going to take you through some changes and some updates that we're doing on the product side. Very exciting stuff there. We've got Chris and Carolina from Perito, who are our partners on the first flip opportunity that we've done, and Brooke from Shakir Capital, who's our partner on the second opportunity that we've done. So really excited for you guys to hear from them. I spoke already through the agenda, so I'm just going to get right into it. If there's any first timers here, I just wanted to kind of take some time to go over what a fix and flip is. For Stake, generally, we introduced this strategy back in November. We've already done 3 properties, or fully funded 3 properties successfully. We'll take you through them. The 4th one is live now. So what's a fix and flip? It's your opportunity to invest in suitable properties that are carefully selected by our team, that offer the potential of a property flipping. So basically, you can buy now, and then within a holding period of 12 to 14 months, we'll do the renovations. We'll have an appointed project manager and an appointed contractor do the works that are pre-agreed and kind of prefixed before the property is listed. They will renovate, they'll refurbish the property, really try to maximize the value of the property as much as possible. And then ultimately, we look to sell at a higher value, realize an appreciation, a gain on your investment in as little time as possible. This is typically reserved for seasoned investors, people that have readily available capital, that know how to source off-market deals, that really work with experts on the renovation works. And that's really what we want to bring to Stake, right? Being true to our mission and vision. We want to allow as many investors around the world as possible to buy into this property. Now, this opportunity. Now, a few things to keep in mind. The investment holding period is somewhere between 12 to 24 months. It can vary. It's usually under 2 years, generally, depending on the size of the property. We sell when the investment becomes profitable, when we meet at least our projected sale price or exceed it. We'll obviously start as high as possible and try to realize as much return on your investment as possible. Please note, there's no early exit, so fix and flip opportunities are not available on the exit window. They are a short holding period investment. They're only appreciation focused. They do not pay rental income. Returns will only come at the end of the holding period. We wanted to recap about the first flip opportunities that we've done. The first three, sorry. We funded 3 in 3 months, with a total of 4,900 investors across the board, across all 3 of them. The first one was Penthouse in Saba Towers. Chris and Carolina will take you through that. It was funded in a record 2.5 hours. It feels like a year ago, but it was just yesterday that really the demand was just soaring for this opportunity. A few weeks later, we came back with a smaller ticket size, a 3-bed townhouse in Mira Oasis with Shakir Capital, with Brooke and Waf from Shakir Capital, and they have helped us design, really reimagine this home, and this property funded in 32 minutes. Most recently, we partnered with K4 on a villa in Jumeirah Golf Estates in Siena Lakes. This was the largest crowdfunded property in the region at a price tag of 14.8 million dirhams for the to purchase the property. A total investment was around 25 million. We broke our own previous record, which was 5.5 million dirhams for the largest property in, crowdfunded in the region. So we're very proud of that achievement. And just to share an update, the transfer of ownership was done yesterday. I attended the transfer myself, and the works have mobilized and started. To take you through these really quickly, the 3-bed townhouse in JLT, Chris and Cara will take you through this, but it was a renovation period projected of around 6 months, up to 9 months really, and we look to sell in a year at minimum, hopefully sooner because we're quite on schedule, and it offers an opportunity of an annualized ROI of 11.8%. The second opportunity was this beautiful townhouse in Reem. The renovation duration is a bit shorter. It's 6 months. We're hoping to finish it quite quickly because the transfer actually happened fairly quickly, and we would love to be selling it as soon as the renovation works are done, ideally in 9 to 12 months, but hopefully quicker. The annualized ROI here is 11.1%, or what hopefully projected to be around 11.1%. We recently did something really exciting. I don't know if you have seen this on our socials. I invite you to scan the QR code on the screen. But our marketing team and Nahel took the investors on site to the Mira opportunity. We had the project managers there. We had the contractors there. You can see the guy in the safety jacket at the back. It was really exciting to be able to take this handful of investors to the property and show them the works have actually begun, show them a similar villa that was already completed. That's the image on the right. So really feel free to watch the video on our socials. The third opportunity that we funded was a villa in Jumeirah Golf Estates. Like I mentioned, it was transferred. The ownership was transferred yesterday. This is with our partners K4, and the renovation works should take up to a year. Hopefully much less than that, but the projected annualized ROI is 11.9%, and looking to sell it within a year and a half. So overall. I'll hand over to Fahad now to take you through our product and what the changes that we've done have been. So
shared now. Hopefully everybody can see. So this is my telephone, and I'm sharing the Sabah Tower 2 flip. That was actually our first flip that Jad introduced, the one we launched last year. I'm gonna scroll down the investment details page. As you can see, you have your live updates, and that's what I was mentioning before. You can see the most recent update, it was 20 days ago. The renovations on your property have started. You have a little description there. You have a little image. You see what's going on, what's really happening in real time with your investment. You can even scroll down and see all the previously published updates, such as your property is now transferred. That was 2 months ago, and around the same time 2 months ago, the renovation project plan was also shared. If I click on view details, that's going to download the PDF, and you'd be able to see everything. So thank you guys. That's all I wanted to show.
So it's really exciting. If you're an investor in any of these properties, you should be able to see it yourselves. But if you're not, then we'll show you what it looks like very soon. Thanks, Fahad. And just now, I think I'd love to hand over to our designers, really give you an insight from behind the scenes what they're working on. So first up is Carolina and Chris from Pareto. Over to you guys.
Thank you so much, Jad, for the kind introduction. Very excited to be on the webinar today. My name is Christoph.
I'm Carolina.
And we're very excited to speak to you guys. First of all, thank you very much for the overwhelming support. It's been very special to kick off the fix and flip with such a strong result. So maybe 1 or 2 words about us. We are Pareto. We've got years of experience renovating luxury properties. Our key aim is always to unlock a property's true potential. We started discussions with Stake about a year ago, and we've been very excited to start this collaboration with them. The property we'll talk about today is a 3-bedroom penthouse in JLT, and not all of you may know Dubai that well, so we'll probably start off just by introducing a little bit the area itself. So JLT is just behind Marina. It's a stone throw away from Marina, JBR, and it's connected by 2 metro stations, making it very easily commutable. It has direct access to the 2 major highways in Dubai, and traffic allowing has a very swift access to downtown. It has a striking skyline with about 80 high-rise buildings and 4 man-made lakes, which makes it a very walkable area. And it offers a lot of diverse housing, ranging from small studio apartments to the very large penthouse, from one-person offices to very significant offices. It has retail spaces, plenty of good restaurants. And what we're seeing is that as Dubai Marina is becoming less and less affordable, a lot of focus is switching over to JLT. And we're very excited about the potential capital appreciation that we can achieve with this property in question. So maybe let's flip to the next slide and we talk a bit about the property itself. The property is a shell and core penthouse. When we sell shell and core, it really means that you can see the bare walls. There's not a single power point in the apartment. Everything has to be redone, from the air conditioning, the sprinklers, etc., etc. So it's really from the bottom up. It's an empty canvas. What it does have is an amazing view over all of the Marina, JBR, large portion of the Palm, very strong sea views, and even Burj Al Arab and the Wave. And I think that's really a standout of that property that you cannot easily find, even within JLT. This is a unique view. And we are also very excited about it because it's a huge apartment. It has about 4,100 square feet. And we're converting it from a 3-bedroom penthouse into a 4-bedroom. And this is really kind of like following our value creation playbook, where we believe in adding additional bedrooms, where we want to ensure that all the bedrooms have ensuite bathrooms, and that we then look to curate the living spaces. And we'll go through it now in a bit more detail and take you through it. But maybe just to give you some initial pointers, we have opted here to create a second kitchen. You'll have a show kitchen, which is very open plan, inviting to have an amazing time with your family, with a very large kitchen island, allowing 6 to 7 people to be seated comfortably. And then at the same time, you have a staff kitchen, which allows you to kind of separate the cooking activities and make sure that the smells don't go into the wider living area. We're creating a fitness space. We're creating a dedicated office space. And we are very excited about the type of materials that we're using, as you can see on the first photo here, with the focal point being the kitchen. We've sourced the finest quality Carrara marble, which is used throughout the property. We believe in creating a consistent look, where we have gray, large-scale tiles combined with this white and dark gray marble, which makes it very light. We use LED accents, and we feel that way we can really create that urban oasis, that kind of like cool, slick city penthouse that potential buyers would aspire to own. If we go to the next slide, let's talk about the master bedroom, which we're very excited about. So the master bedroom is bigger than most 1-bedroom apartments in Dubai. We are creating a really cool sort of experience of having the ability to work, to live, to spend time together, to have a huge walk-in wardrobe with a his and her side, centered around a beauty cabinet for the wife and the family, and then a beautiful ensuite bathroom with a Japanese bathtub. So that's going to be probably one of the favorite rooms once it's finished. And as we continue to the next slide, we will have to talk about the dining room. Now, the dining room is a very beautifully located in the end of the property where you get the best views. It has enough space for a 10-seater table. And as you can see with the next slide, what we're creating with the additional bedroom is that you can have on-demand privacy with a smart glass installation. So this is quite a cool feature that really isn't done much in the market, but it allows you to have either the privacy or the ability to kind of like see into the bedroom and the small fitness area that we are creating. We go to the next slide. This is really kind of giving you more of an overview of the different areas in the apartment and allowing you a bit of a feel for the kind of style that we're going for. If we start with the open plan living room, which is very generously spread out across the property, having a large sofa, allowing the family to enjoy a movie together. But then at the same time, you have, you know, that marble cladding on the columns, giving you that really upscale look combined with the city vistas. Then in the bedrooms, you'll have marble accent walls in the background. You'll have LED drop-down lighting, and it's really about creating that very clean and slick look. And then maybe briefly about the bathrooms, you can see this is the master bathroom with the Japanese bathtub we just talked about a minute ago. But you know, those large heatable mirrors that they don't fog up. And again, the marble look throughout really will create a beautiful living experience. We go to the next slide. This is a status update. So the approvals have been obtained. Keep in mind that there was a huge amount of work around how the living space has been redesigned. So this is all approved now, and demolition is ongoing. The MLP work is ongoing, and we're very excited about sharing some further progress updates in the near future. And in the meantime, I would like to pass back to Jad. And look, thank you so much for having us on the call today.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Carolina. It's been a pleasure working with you. And sorry, we're going to just switch over sharing screen to me. Okay. So thanks, Vad. Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Carolina. Over to Brooke Audi from Shakir Capital. I'll leave the stage.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much, Jad, for introducing us and also for giving us the opportunity to speak to your investors again today. It was a pleasure being able to do the site visit a couple of weeks ago and meet some of your investors face to face and be able to just walk them through one of the projects and show them what's going on in real time. It was a really fun experience, so thank you for that as well. So I'm Brooke, and I have co-founded this company with my partner, Waf. We've been managing fix and flips, to use Stakes terminology, for just over a year now for investors. So we've got a very sort of specific experience in what investors are looking for and how to basically maximize those returns and make sure that it's still a low risk, safe investment, and just do everything that we can to make sure that we get as much out of each project as possible. Just a little bit about the actual area, Reem or Mira Oasis, for the project that we're going to discuss today. It's a really, really great opportunity for investment at the moment. It's quite sort of new, and there's not actually that many renovations in the area that have been completed yet, which is for Dubai quite a unique opportunity. It's a townhouse community, and the developer is Emaar, which is one of the most reputable developers in Dubai. They really, really take good care when they're creating these communities, and they've got a great reputation, which already brings a lot of interest from buyers. Also to that though, there's Dubai British School that's opening in the area in September, which for families who are looking for townhouses is a great unique selling point, because it's also it's one of the best schools in Dubai, and townhouses in general are a massive minority in the market. So basically you've got the high demand, the low supply, and you've got the school opening in September, which just makes Mira Oasis as an area a really great sort of investment opportunity. What we did before we actually started designing and looking at this project in detail is we first spoke to the sort of best real estate agents in the market in Mira Oasis, and we had quite a lot of conversations just to really figure out what sort of buyer is there. So we spoke to these agents, figured out that most of the buyers are European buyers. They are families. They're looking for open plan, as much light as possible. They're wanting sort of modern minimalist style, but also keeping it cozy and homely. And so we basically went and gathered as much information about our target market and then applied that to the designs. So yeah, that's just a bit of a background on how we approached this project to make sure that we could make the most profit for you guys. So yeah, just to give you a little bit more detail about the design elements that we've chosen. We've extended the kitchen and created, previously, as you can see in the before picture, it was a closed kitchen, which, like I've said, doesn't really appeal to the European buyers. So we've extended that out and created a fully open plan kitchen with a waterfall countertop. We've used quartz, which is a lot cheaper than solid marble. Solid marble is a great option, but it also targets like the more luxury end, sort of high-end, high-priced sort of villas. Whereas obviously in the market that we're sort of targeting here, there's no issue to make sure that we don't basically splurge on solid stone, because it will just rank up the costs of the actual works and then reduce the profits on the back end. We've gone with, throughout the property, as you'll see in the pictures, we've gone with black features. It's just sort of a nice modern twist and gives the whole house a running theme. And they are very sort of in at the moment. They're very fashionable, very stylish. And so as you can see that we've run that through the kitchen. We've got the black features with the tap, we've got the black sink, and we've got the black built-in appliances. For the appliances, we've gone with Siemens just because they're a very reputable brand, and it allows us to sort of charge that premium price when we're selling the property and get as much profit as possible for you guys. So yeah, that's the sort of design that we've gone through for the kitchen. And as you can see, and you'll see this throughout, we've gone with very neutral colours. So there's sort of neutral tones so that we can appeal to more buyers. Generally speaking, with a fix and flip, the more specific that you make your design, unfortunately, you end up making your target audience a little bit smaller, because the chances are that someone might come in and say, I love the house, but actually I don't like that one thing. So you want to try and keep a really open net and appeal to as many different buyers as possible and create sort of a blank canvas for buyers to be able to come in and make it their own, especially when you're targeting end users and families. Yeah, you can go to the next slide, Jad, thank you. So here in the bathroom, you can see that we've gone with an irregular shaped mirror and LED backlighting, and we've put that against a micro cemented wall. That's just, again, keeping in with the very modern, very stylish sort of design, but also keeping it quite neutral and likable to boost that profitability. You can see that we've kept the black features throughout. So we've got the black taps, the shower head. We decided with this property, and we did actually discuss this with the agents quite a lot, on whether to keep the bath, whether to make it a standalone bathtub, or whether to keep it just a shower. And it was sort of relayed to us that actually keeping the bath with the shower in it just really made sure that we appealed to that family sort of target market in the area. So we've kept that in for the master's bathroom, but we've also added the what are they called? Oh, my brain's gone blank, sorry, the recessed shelving. So as you can see just over there by the bath, we've got the recessed shelving with the LED lights, because it just keeps that really modern, really stylish look while still appealing to families and making sure that it's practical. So yeah, you can go to the next slide, Jad. For the sort of downstairs and garden area, we've made a lot of changes. The standard unit, as you can see in the before picture, is just literally a sort of an area of grass. And what we did was we were extending out. We are also extending out the terraced area just to give your investment a sort of larger built-up area and room for a dining area and a dining space, but also including these bifold doors, and they are just gorgeous. They just open up the living space into the garden and really create that indoor-outdoor living, which again is just super bright, super open plan, and sort of very on target for what our buyers are looking for. And then we've gone ahead and we've added a 5 by 3 meter pool in the garden, which again is a huge USP for the area. None of the properties, unless you've added one yourself, have pools in them. And there's actually not many properties in Mira Oasis with a pool in them. Like, not many people have done that themselves anyway. So we've gone in, we've added this huge, beautiful pool. We've kept a meter of it shallow for children so that they can play in the shallow end of the pool, really just targeting that family buyer. And then obviously you've got the deep end on the other side so that people can still use it to swim and really get the most out of the garden, with that gorgeous planter around the edge and a sort of Bali inspired design with the plants against the white wall, which just looks, again, like a blank canvas so that buyers can really make it their own, but also looking beautiful so that we can make sure that we have an easy sell and a high profit on the other end. And then just to give you a little update about your investment today, as you can see, similar to the previous investment, it does just look like a little bit of a bonsai right now, but a lot is going on over there. It's changing from day to day. So we've got a lot going on. We've got all of the tiles that have already been installed into the ground floor bathrooms, and the first floor tiles have begun installation already. We've got the joinery for the property, so the rails, the sort of the railing on the stairs. We've got the doors and the door frames, and they're all being progressed on site. The door frames are actually already finished and just waiting to be fit. This picture, it's a shame that I couldn't have taken these updates on Saturday, because when I tell you it's changing day by day, on Saturday all of the gypsum ceiling will be in, so it'll look completely different again. But yeah, so the full villa has now been cleaned out, ready to start all of the finishing works and plastering. For the garden, if you go to the next slide, Jad, we've had the DDA have now approved the site, meaning that we could start filling the pool with the cement and just getting ready for installing the tiles. And the steel structure has already been approved as well. So the DDA is the Dubai Development Authority. And whenever you do like construction works on a property in Dubai, you need to get DDA approval as well as the developer approval. And so we've got all of that in place, and everything is basically just go down there. We've sort of a unique selling point for this property is the palm tree in the corner of the garden. That was already there when Stake purchased the property, and it's something that we've made sure to keep, because obviously to have a palm tree in your garden is a gorgeous thing, and it's quite lucky, to be honest, because not all of these gardens in the area have one. So we've decided to make sure that we keep that and preserve that so that our end user can, enjoy that as well. Do you want to go to the next slide, Chad? So in the ceilings in the property, we've got the ductings nearly complete, and the ceiling framing of the gypsum ceiling will be in. I told you that'll be in on Saturday. We've got the conduits and the cables all going in with the lighting and the AC vents. So what we've done is taken the sort of traditional AC vents that come in a grid form, and we've repositioned them so that the AC comes out of these strips in the ceiling, which just again looks a lot more stylish, a lot better, and it's actually better ventilation for the room, because I don't know if any of you actually live out here in Dubai, but when those AC grids are pointing at you, it's a big, you kind of get all of the AC, so it spreads it out a bit more and makes it, yeah, more stylish and more practical. And then finally, in the washrooms, as I explained at the beginning, we've got the tiles on the ground floor, and the first floor tiling is just getting fitted this week. The plumbing and the drainage is done, and then by next week we will have the ceilings and the vanities that will be arriving on site to be installed. So it really is just changing exponentially each day, which is great for you guys, because it means that we're ahead of schedule. We can get it finished, back on the market, and hopefully you can get your return as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Brooke.
Thank you.
Again, I think the level of the attention to detail and the level of care from both Tricare and Perito and K4 who aren't on this call is what we are looking for in our partners. It's not about just getting something done as quickly as possible and reselling. That's why we take a lot of care in the selection. And you see with the way our partners are speaking about the properties, they really do care, and we kind of tailor it to the end buyer, right? At the end of the day, that's how Mira Oasis is being done. That's how the GLT Penthouse is being done. Just asking ourselves, who is going to buy this property down the line? So just jumping into our next agenda point, our next fix and flip, which went live yesterday. Now I haven't checked as of yet, but it is there's been some progress made. I can't share the percentage yet, but let's just say it's moving. It's a 4-bed villa, and I wanted to share some insights about Victory Heights, which is the area where the property is. So just bear with me for a second. Here we go. Right. Victory Heights, for those of you not very familiar, is a district or a community, a gated community that's built around the Els Club. The Els Club is a very well known and kind of well reputed golf club in Dubai. It's located in Sports City. So before we dive into really what makes this area quite special and quite unique, I wanted to take a moment to step back kind of and take really zoom out on Dubai, right? On how the Emirates progressing. You've got a lot of exciting projects coming up in Dubai South, a lot of off-plan sales, and Palm Jumeirah as well, in Maritime City, in just different areas of the city. And you see the city is expanding around, right? But there's also a lot of action happening around the E311 and E611 corridor. So for those of you that live in Dubai and have been for a while or not, you're very familiar probably with developments like Motor City, Arabian Ranches, Sports City, Jumeirah Golf Estates, and so on, Damac Hills and all of those. So really the city is kind of consolidating itself around this central corridor. There's metro lines that are coming up. There's a blue line that's connecting the current metro line to Dubai Silicon Oasis and so on. So really the city is very consolidated here, and there's a lot of developments that are being done, whether it's the Ranches 3, the Acres by Miras, the extensions of Wadi Al Safa, basically the villa developments, the Athlon development by Al Dar, and just the list goes on. JGE is expanding. Tilal Ghaf, where I'm pointing my mouse, has really been very successful. The first 2 phases are handed over. Next phases are starting. You've got Damac Hills with Damac Lagoons currently being under development and so on. So really this area booms, right? And what's happening is the new properties being handed over are not as large, are not as spacious as what's currently available on the market. And what's currently available in the market is getting dated, right? Q, fix and flip, Q stake. That's what we're trying to unlock with several of these developments, with JGE and now with Victory Heights is currently available. Sports City itself is so central. It's located on the 311 highway on Hassa Street, which is undergoing development. And it's also bordering Al Fay Road, which links Production City and Midtown, Jumeirah Golf Estates, Tilal Ghaf, and Victory Heights. And the government is spending 1.5 billion dirhams in the next 2 years. So the handover of this newly really beefed up corridor is going to be in 2027. And it provides access to this community. And the community itself is really, really cool. Like, I personally spend a lot more time than I'd like to admit in this area. There you've got the running track and the rugby pitch. You've got the sports academies. You've got the cricket stadium, the ICC. And even going back to the Els Club itself, you've got the Claude Harmon Academy, which that's one of the most reputed golf academies in the region, if not the world. And the Els Club, the way it's structured is you've got the driving range and the fairways, the different the 18-hole golf course, where they host a lot of events, a lot of championships, and you get from your Ramadan tent all the way to your Christmas markets, right? So it's a really cool and exciting area. I'll invite you over to our app to see more information on the current property. But yeah, that's it for the area. I'll share screen again. Yeah, so that's the walkthrough for Jumeirah Golf for Victory Heights. In general, looking at it, just recapping, it's a gated, family-friendly community where there's a variety of property types, all the way from townhouses to luxury villas that are spacious, that are set on the green, that have immaculate views and really around the Els Golf Club. The area features a lot of walking trails and playgrounds and landscape parks and so on for the kids. And like I said, it's accessible from Al Khair Road, from the MBZ road, and connects to all of Dubai really seamlessly. Double clicking a bit on the property itself now, on board through our app to find out the numbers and the details. We can't share that while the property is funding, but I'm at liberty to tell you it's a large plot size, right? It's 6,600 square feet. You don't get that very often, and it's currently around 3,500 square feet. That's not the exact number, but around there. And we're looking to expand the villa as well, to really allow for people to buy into this gated community at the end of the investment period, and just offer the investor that's going to buy the end user is going to buy this property a beautiful home to live in. Now, handing over or kind of moving over to our last segment of the webinar, our Q&A. You can send your questions through the Q&A box. I've already started seeing a few, so we really want to start showing you more information. And I think a few questions have come through. Can I visit the property? Are you going to do another property tour, and so on? Yeah, we're working very closely with the project managers appointed, with our content team, our marketing team, and inviting a few select investors. We can't have 4,900 people visit 3 different sites. We'd love to, but it's just a safety issue at the end of the day. And we want the projects to get delivered as quickly as possible. So we can't be doing that on the regular, but I think once every few weeks, once every month, we can have some investors visit. If you're really, really eager to visit one of the properties you've invested in, reach out to our team on contact@GetStake, and we'll try to arrange something for you. But yeah, they're going to be happening. The content will be shared with everybody. And like Fahad demoed earlier, we will be sharing as many updates as possible with you. We truly believe that the more we share with you, the more we make you involved in these renovation works, the cooler it will be. There's a question on here from Wasim. How many contractors you work with and who are they? We've got 2 of them on, well, 2 project managers on the webinar that have contractors that they work with. Every property has an appointed contractor. There's a due diligence and vetting process that happens for each contract being appointed. That's the reason why we outsource the project management, to make sure that it's quite basically on the ball. They don't miss anything, and they just make sure the contractors are working. I can name a few contractors that have started work on the villas, but we can only share these contractors with the investors in those properties. So if you've invested, you can see it on your investment detail page. I'll pick another question from here. From Noor? Thank you, Noor, for the question. Is the 10 to 12, 16-month period mentioned on the app from today, or for once the property is funded? So I'm assuming this is for one of the property, or the property is currently available. Each property has an investment period or hold period tied to it. It's a range typically, and the counter starts from when the last investment is made. So when the property is fully funded, the process of then is to issue the title deed and really transfer the ownership, appoint the contractors, appoint the project managers officially through the SPV that owns the property, and really get the works going. So that's when the timer starts. And then when you receive your proceeds in your stake wallet, in your stake account, then that's when the timer ends. So that's the whole period. Our aim, and we always try to be as conservative as possible, our aim is to finish it in the minimum period, right? So yeah, I hope that answers the question. Where can I find the investment details page on the page? Sorry, I missed you to connectivity. Sorry if the disconnectivity was on our side, but we answered this in the chat. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Since we don't get, there's a couple of really cool questions here on auto invest and rent reinvest and so on. Actually, we only launched auto invest last quarter. It's a really exciting product feature that we're working on really bringing to the next level. And with that comes auto invest for fix and flip. Currently, it's only available for income generating properties. So your high yielding properties, your capital growth properties, and your balanced properties. Soon, we will be bringing fix and flip. We're working on the product on this with the product team. So we'll keep you posted. Rent reinvest can be, I mean, you have to look at it as a way of the rent that you have can be reinvested in a flip, but flips don't pay rent themselves. So that's why it's different.
Jad?
Sorry, bro, go for it.
I just thought it'd be a great question for me to take Wasim's question about construction with delays, cost variations.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so basically, Wasim, the way that we sort of handle that and the mitigations that are in place is when we decide to work with a contractor, we don't just take quotes from one contractor, we'll take quotes from multiple contractors. Once we've chosen the quotes, and these contractors, by the way, have already been pre-vetted, so we wouldn't even take a quote unless we've done multiple site visits to do quality assurance check. We obviously want them to be reputable. We want to make sure that they're well known for being on time and for being on budget. But nevertheless, once we've got these quotes in, we will then start the negotiation process with the chosen contractor. And it'll be during that period, which is probably, I would say, usually between 7 to 10 days. It can take a little bit of time, but we'll go back and forth, really heavily negotiating each item on the quote to get the price down as much as physically possible, so that obviously we can boost that profitability. Once we've agreed the price, that's the contract that we'll sign. So we effectively sign and agree that price with the contractor, and any variations after that, if it's our decision, like obviously if we came back next week and said we actually want a much larger swimming pool, then of course we need to pay for that difference. But other than that, we've locked in the price that we've already pre-negotiated very heavily. And that's how we sort of protect ourselves from any differences in costs. And as well with that, I think that reputation comes into play a lot there as well, because we would again only work with a contractor who's got a good reputation for being on budget and for not bringing up those prices in the middle of a project as well. And then where you've mentioned delays, that's a great question when it comes to construction. I think like worldwide, contractors and people in construction have a terrible reputation for staying on time and having delays. So what we do to protect ourselves against that and to protect your investment against that is by putting in late penalties. So effectively in the contract that we sign with that contractor and the people who will be doing the contracting work, if they give us a timeline and for any day that goes past that timeline, they need to pay us a penalty. And that basically just gives them a vested interest in getting the project done on time. And that's something that we do go forward with. In the last project that we did, I think the contractors went over 4 days, but we still implemented that delay penalty just because obviously going forward then they know that we're always going to take that seriously, and it will give them, like I've said, a vested interest. Sometimes 4 days, you know, it wasn't a case of them not doing the job properly, and these delays can obviously happen. It could be anything from weather to a burst pipe. Obviously it's construction, things do come up, but delay penalties and securing the price are the 2 ways that we mitigate that risk for you guys.
Yeah, happy to jump in here as well. I think it's a great question, Wasim. So we have a project management tool that we share with both stake and the contractor, where we meticulously plan out all the different steps, and it's then broken down into different milestones. It allows to easily track the current progress versus the expected time frame that it's meant to take. And we believe that being transparent and having a tool to also track and have the necessary checks and balances in place is really important to have a seamless project management. When it comes to cost variations, I think it's also really a question around sourcing the materials, which is one of our key strengths. We have excellent contacts across the board for all sorts of different materials. So we have the ability to either source the materials ourselves or source it from the contractor, whichever way it's cheaper. And I would say probably 90 to 95% of the cases we have the better contracts and we can source at cheaper prices. But it's also a way of effectively mitigating any kind of like cost overruns, because there's always an alternative out there that can be used. Certain very specific materials we source ahead of the time. For example, the marble was sourced very early in the process because that's one of the key features of the property, and we have to make sure that it is stacking up to the required quality and available in book match format, etc.
Not only that, we take ample time to discuss with our contractors and go through every design detail. That way we minimize any alterations, that because there's always a delay when there's changes to the design. By the time that we are presenting a property, we are 99% sure that there's going to be no changes, and we can essentially continue the renovation process without delays or unforeseen changes that are essentially, hopefully, never needed.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of time being spent in really making sure that at the time of the quotation, it's very clear the design that we are looking for, and planning the renovation to the very minuscule details to avoid any kind of surprises. In terms of the, I would say, difference, also a little bit like speaking about different properties. When you do a renovation in a villa or a townhouse versus doing a renovation in a penthouse, you have a big difference around the level of approvals that are required. When there's a community, such as in a high-rise, there's very different checks and balances in place. There's a lot more hoops and loops to jump through. It tends to be a much longer approval process. And I think that's also where it's very important to have experience in that process and understand all the relevant parties that have to be approved. Yeah, I think ultimately the key thing is really that you maintain a high level of engagement with all parties throughout the project management.
Thank you, guys. We're almost out of time, so I'm gonna just jump in and take a couple of questions to clarify. Minimum investment is the same. It's 500 dirhams. Minimum holding period essentially is indicated with each flip. They're all created very differently. You will have seen how with each partner that we selected, their approaches are very different. It depends on what we're trying to achieve for that specific property. So it really varies. It varies on the construction duration. We always try to be as conservative as possible, but we don't want to overpromise. We always want to over-deliver. There was a couple of questions that were really cool. So we're almost out of time. Sorry. I think we'll have to move over, do maybe a Q&A on our social media channels, and we can answer there. There's a lot of questions that were answered in the chat as well. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Really, it's been a pleasure interacting with you and answering your questions and sharing a bit of insights. Brooke, Chris, Carolina, thank you so much for being on the call and for sharing your insights with the investors. I'm sure this was very exciting for everyone involved. Thank you, and we'll do another webinar very soon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.